What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today, I just want to chat about where I'm at. I'm finally on character 700. It's taken a little bit of time, took a little bit of off time, and then it just kind of slowly got back into the process of learning to where it's fun. I tried to do enough each day to where I didn't lose focus and I didn't want to do stuff, but I also didn't want to force myself to do it if I just wasn't feeling it. And I kind of subsided that until that went away, and now we are back, full-fledged back to studying and all that stuff. Have been for a little bit, but we are finally on character 700. I think it's been well over a month since my last update like this. And so I'm happy to be here. So I want to talk about today what we're doing. Today it's going to be including stuff that I want to do, start reading and things like that, and not using lingq for that. I want to use a different program. I've started doing a little bit better with immersing. I've started sentence mining and how that is different from when I've done it in the past. And then, of course, writing, being on character 700, how I feel. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. If you're new here, I don't script videos. I try to just speak from the heart. I speak... I try to just say things as I feel necessary. I don't like to write stuff out because I don't like the idea of being able to fabricate what I'm doing. Oh, I'm learning this. Oh, wow, man, that doesn't really sound good. Let me mark that up a little bit. So just bear with me. I'm kind of I try not to be all over the place, but I also know how my brain works. So 700 characters, feeling really, really good. Here's where I'm at. This specific unit doesn't end until you're on character 703. I'm not 100% sure why, but what I imagine is in the next lesson it'll go from, in level 40, it'll go from 704 to 710, because they try to do them in 10 block increments. I'm assuming it has to do with the characters and the way that they're used. I don't know. But anyway, as of right now, I just learned this character, which is Kong, which is control, and it didn't unlock the word. There was no words vocab unlocked from this, which was very strange. They have this vocab boost, but the vocab boost is for characters from the beginner course that just make up new words that aren't quite as useful, or maybe not used as much, but then also perhaps stuff that you don't really need to spend time studying, stuff that might stick with you pretty easily. So, but I've got through all these characters, and then yeah, so just as an example for the vocab boost, right here. So we're going to have, okay, so cool. So, whole nation. This is literally whole or complete. This character means whole or complete. And this means country. So that, okay, so we got, okay, juego is to return to one's country. Okay. Yeah, whole family, literally whole on this side, whole or complete. And then this character means family. Again, whole or complete, this character means body. So very, very easy to understand stuff. You don't really need to study a lot of that. I just unlocked a bunch of vocabulary. So there you go. But with that, 700 characters in, I am, adding these to a little bit of a Playco deck, but I've actually not really studied a bunch because as I've been immersing in content, and it's not been a lot, this is, again, slow process. We're getting back into things. A lot of these, I've seen a lot of these words and stuff. Now, I am watching content in Chinese, but I'm spending a lot of my time studying, I'm spending a majority of my time on comprehensible input instead of just going in and not being able to understand a whole lot of anything. For one, to build confidence, and for two, because, again, my vocabulary is not big enough to where I can withstand just an onslaught of, whatever, and so I'm trying to be smart about it. But the 700 characters are doing me really, really well. I mean, we're getting into some pretty not odd stuff. We're getting into a little bit more exclusive stuff than perhaps what you would think. I mean, right here, to edit, for example, this word means flat, or this character means flat. Of course, it doesn't necessarily always have a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning it means flat, but it can mean a couple of different things. Drum, right? To drum, or a drum. I think it can also be used I think it can also be used as a noun for a drum. But anyway, so we're learning some stuff like that. We're past hey, I like coffee. I would like to drink some tea. You know what I mean? We're learning a little bit deeper vocabulary, which of course, as I watch content, it's going to have to kind of step up and go from there. So I still don't have a goal for the amount of characters I want to learn in a day. because I think that just sets myself up for failure. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do what I can be happy with, and I'm also going to do what I can to make sure that I am studying characters, but also getting Chinese content into my brain. Like, if I only had an hour in a day, I don't want to spend an hour, writing, although I highly, highly love this. This is one of the best things I've ever done, and I stand by that. And I know I get a lot of disagreements with that, but writing the characters has really helped me when I'm listening to be able to differentiate what I'm hearing. Like an example is I was listening to something the other day, and they were talking about, they were in a coffee, they were talking about, it was a story about a person in a coffee shop, and he was wanting like some ice in his coffee. Of course, there was like a misunderstanding. It was loud. They couldn't hear what was going on, so the barista thought he said Bing Ji Ling, which is like ice cream, but he was actually just saying Bing, which is ice. Anyway, but when he first went in there, they were asking him if he wanted a Meisher cafe. And it's funny how my brain did all this in like, it was so fast. Like when you're talking this out, people are like, man, but that takes so long. Like, wouldn't it be like look how long it gets you to get that. But like, you can't quite speak at the rate that your brain is processing this information. And so when I heard it, I knew obviously it was going to be a type of coffee, cafe, which also let me know that the Mei in it was going to be from Mei Guo in America. And so then the sure, I was unsure about. And I was like, well, what is the sure? And so every time I hear sure in this context, when it's clearly not being used in a am, is, are, was context, I know that it's not that sure. I always think of the character for like thing or matter. And I knew that I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then I started thinking, and I was like, okay, so this is an American coffee. What is an American coffee? Well, it's an American style coffee. And then I immediately knew that that's what it was. It literally was American style coffee. It's an American coffee. And so learning the characters allowed me to almost like my brain to have this profile to cipher through these characters to make it click and again, this happens over the course of, I mean, a nanosecond. Like it's so fast. Like me telling that story was way longer than it took. But being able to do that is from writing and learning the characters. Now, yes, you can learn to read the characters. For me, I've tried to learn to read characters in the past, and it's just hard for me to do. Like I've done like you'll try to learn X amount of cards today and what it means, but like physically writing it out has made it stick in my brain. That's all I'm saying. I could talk about writing forever. I'm not going to, because I'm not trying to lose everybody watching this video, but it's really helped me because it keeps in mind what the components of the character are and things like that, and it just really, really helped. So but yeah, and like I said, I'm going to keep going. I don't have a specific set limit on how much I want to study or how many characters I want to add. It's going to be dependent upon the day. I'm still not doing much on the weekends. On the weekends, I'll do a little bit of reviews. But, I'll be watching football or doing something with my family or something like that, because it's honestly not that serious. Language learning is a hobby. And I'm very fortunate to where I can spend a little bit more time on my hobby perhaps than your average person. And that's obviously super beneficial, but I also still like to do stuff, with my family and stuff like that. So, obviously there's no kind of fluency with 700 characters. I can I'm listening to the comprehensible input that I'm listening to is lower intermediate. I may try to do a little bit of intermediate stuff in a little bit, but I'm actually having fun going through the lower intermediate, because we're talking like 95% understanding rate. And then there's a word or two that I won't understand, and then I realize what it means and it'll click into place. So it's very motivating. But I also know that in order to make progress, you have to be like slightly uncomfortable with what you're hearing. 95% understanding rate might be just a touch too high, so I might need to go to some intermediate comprehensible input, but we'll see. So, there's not much else to show Mandarin Blueprint wise. I mean, like I said, the next lesson will be level 41, and yep, just like I said, see level 41 will go 704 to 710, and then they block it in 10, 711 to 720. Probably have a 720 to 730, and then it'll probably be like 730 to 734 or something weird at the end for some reason. 731 to 736. I don't know. I don't question it. I do the program. It's great, and it is what it is. This will always give you your claws are disturbing my melons. So words that I will learn here will be something to do with claw related, something with disturbing, and then some sort of melon. So I assume I'll get into some fruits and stuff here, which I already know the word for fruit, but I assume this will be like starting to really piece stuff together. And so that's basically where I'm at. I need to go through, one thing I do need to do, I need to spend some time on is, hang on if I can get to course library. I need to go through, so I went through all of the stuff in one. Phase 2, I need to get through some of the shorts that they did, and then like some of the stuff, I just need to really go through. I did the characters. I don't even know what I've not done here. Why is only half of this done? What have I not done here? Oh, going through the words in context. Yeah, but I don't really... You go through sample sentences. I don't really need... I mean, I'll probably read over them and just click them off, and that'll be that. So anyway, that's all for Mandarin Blueprint. Same thing over here. Yeah, see, like right here, literally, you'll learn through a sentence or two, and be able to go, you know... Yeah, so... without a passport, you cannot leave the country. So, like, being able to understand... Now, could I produce this? No. I couldn't. If I had to say this, I wouldn't be able to do it. It's something I got to practice on, but I can read that and understand what it is. But you go through the sentences, you see it in context, you know, boom, mayo, not have... And then you've got, this is passport, so may... maybe it's like method without method. You may. I mean, it's not you may not, but it's like it's hard to explain. My brain just kind of gets that, and then leave the country. But we're doing well. As far as what we're immersing with, it's Lazy Chinese on YouTube is one of the main ones, and the Mandarin Corner. I really like the Mandarin Corner street interviews. Like, they have some stuff where they have like stories in slow Chinese and stuff, and those are fine. But like, I like the street interviews. I like natural speech. That's actually why I don't read quite as much, and I know that that's going to be a big black eye on a lot of stuff. I don't read as much. I don't read the stories and stuff as much from like Mandarin Blueprint and stuff, because I think they're good, and they're obviously good for getting vocabulary and repeating vocabulary. But man, like, my goal is to understand speech and be able to speak. Like, I want to understand speakers, not scripted content, although again, that's fine. I want natural conversation. So that's why I try to listen to a lot of, whether it be someone telling a story or you know, without like a written script, or telling a story, or, you know, the stuff on the street. I really, really like that stuff. So that is that. Now in the future, so I did start sentence mining. I downloaded, I have Mugaku again. I was using their flashcard platform, but to be quite frank, I think it's okay. The program itself is great. I just don't care for their flashcard system. I never thought I would be one to say this, but I like the customization of Anki. That's something that I would never in my life thought that I would say. I've never been a huge fan of Anki, but I actually like the customization of Anki. Being able to put what I want where I want it is great. You know, I used I got the Migaku cards, like the card type. I imported it. Of course, you can't edit that because whatever they do, so you have to make a copy of it. So I made a copy of it, but now I have it to where it plays audio on the front. So when I see the word and I hear it, I could have those as just audio cards if I wanted to. And I really, really like that. And you still get all the same benefits. The words change colors. I can show you that next time. There's not really much to show because I've only mined 13 cards. Like, I literally just started doing it. But I'll show you this later, you know, like once I have like a decent library or something. But like, you can still see the cards and the color. Actually, I mean, I might be able to show you one on here. You can still see the cards and the colors and stuff like that. So it works, you know, perfectly fine. Just like their browser. It's just, you also have it, you know, on the go as well. Yeah. So you can see, so even in Anki, yeah, even in Anki, it is still color coded to the tones. So You know, it is what it is. And so doing that, obviously, I think is going to be very, very beneficial as well. I'm going to keep sentence mining. I think that it's going to be different with sentence mining this time. And the reason that I say that is because it's not such a hassle to get cards. I don't feel like I have to mine everything because there's a lot of stuff that I'll see, and from where I've been writing so much and stuff like that, like I've primed my brain. So I may see stuff instead of being like, man, maybe I should get that card because I don't quite understand. I'll just mark it as known if it's something that I know. Like, and having a bit more of a vocabulary behind me also allows me to spend more time while I'm actually immersing. I'm not trying to break down every sentence. Oh man, do I understand that? Yes or no? Like, it allows me to go through. So like if I've immersed for an hour, for those 13 cards, you're talking maybe 15 minutes of that time, and the other 45 minutes is just raw listening and watching and seeing what's going on. And I think that having kind of a built-up core, which is probably what they've taught all along. I'm very stubborn when it comes to stuff and try to do things my own way and pretend that I read things a certain way. But having a core allows me to really pick and choose what I want to learn, why I need to learn it, and stuff like that. And of course with Migaku, I just have it set up to where it sends it to Anki instead of the Migaku flashcard system. I send it there and carry on, man, and then I just keep watching. And then a lot of times on those videos, like on the videos that I watch for like the lower intermediate stuff, I'll watch the whole video. I'll mine the video from any words that I need, and then I'll actually just replay the video and watch it. No pauses, natural speed, to see what I can pick up, make sure I can pick it up, and stuff like that. Because I do think that that kind of break in concentration when you're mining a card, you want to get into a rhythm. And that way I can see everything from front to back the way it was intended, and I think that that's helping a lot. So I do want to start reading a little bit more. I know I know that I said that I don't read a lot. I do want to start reading a little bit, but what I mean is I don't want to import stuff. Listen, I love lingq. I've been a very long time proponent of lingq, but like I think that sometimes the idea of importing your own stuff, what should I read, and things like that can get a little overwhelming. Not to mention that the parsing on lingq, like you're never going to find it. I've literally found issues with the Migaku parser where it's not parsed a word correctly. Like it happens. It's just, it happens, especially for, your Asian languages. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of get off of lingq for a little while, and I want to use Do Chinese because those stories are curated for that. The words are split correctly because it's curated by a team, and I'm not worried about that, and the stories are just there and I can read it. I'm not trying to do flashcards out of it or anything. I just want to read. I'll look a word up, carry on. Not a lot, just a little bit of reading a day, and I think I'm going to do that. I can't start that until I guess next month because my lingq subscription just renewed and it was $15, and I don't feel like spending another $15 on Do Chinese just yet. Also, I mean, we could talk about it. These subscription fees are getting outrageous. Like, it's honestly getting a little ridiculous, but that's a topic for another video. I think that's it. I think I covered everything. Where I'm at, 700 characters in. We're going to keep pushing. We're immersing. We're doing stuff in Chinese and all that stuff. And I think that's where we're at. Got talking about my goals and stuff like that. It's the holiday season. I'm going to have fun with my family. Language learning is a hobby. I hope that you guys like it. I hope that you guys, I hope that you guys use it as a hobby. I mean, if you want to be serious, that's fine. But like, I'm not putting anything above like my family or anything like that. Like I'm not going to spend 12 hours a day learning a language. When my son comes home from school, I'm going to play with him or, stuff like that. And I still enjoy stuff in the English. I've read, since August, I've read 7 books. I really enjoy doing stuff. I don't know. I demonized it and criminalized it for so long. Like, oh man, if you're learning a language, you should never be doing stuff in English. But honestly, knowing that I'm not missing content that I want to see and read and watch, and knowing that it's going to be content that I love helps me keep going because I don't feel like I'm missing. Like I did so long when I was doing Japanese for like 2 years. I did not do anything. I missed so much content in English because of just the demonization of enjoying stuff in your target language. That's a whole different video as well. I'm going to leave this here. This video is almost 20 minutes long. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know down below, and I will see you all in the next video.